There's one thing I think that we particularly do that makes this very, very tough. And I know it's gonna sound so simple when you hear it, but it is what it is. What is good, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Autumn, and I'm here to help you strengthen your resolve in your identity and your manifestations, you guys. So if you watched my last video and I talked a little bit about how things have started to shift in my reality since accepting fully all outcomes of my reality. And in these past few days, I've recently learned something that's helped me to do another major shift. And as I'm learning how to simplify manifesting and understanding where I am in a certain cycle of my life, with the pendulum swinging back and forth, and learning how to be neutral in this, I want to share a lot of this with you guys. So today we're going to be talking about if your life seems to be falling apart. If it seems to be falling apart and there's a lot that's going on and you feel like you're trying to do this and trying to do that and you feel like it's just not working, you may want to watch this video. So everything that you see in your current reality is already on a specific timeline that is already playing out. So what you need to do is you need to really choose a new reality, choose a new timeline that you want to hop onto. And it's very interesting because when we feel that our life is falling apart, and what we don't realize is we did something to cause this life to start falling apart, this timeline to continuously play out, although we don't feel on the same level. And that is, we set an intention for our life to be better. So you may say that you want to make more money. You may say that you want to now work for yourself and not work for anyone. You may say that you want to move, or you may want to purchase a house. And when you set these intentions, what you don't realize is the universe is always saying yes. No matter what part no matter how far you get down another path, if you decide that you want to pivot and go in a different direction, it is always yes. But realize, guys, when you are on already a trajectory to do something on a certain path, when you hop onto another path, there is a lag time when it comes to the timeline and the 3D reality catching on to your new identity, your new mindset, your new way of being. So it's very important that you remain consistent in this. So when you see that your life is falling apart, there's this one little thing that we all tend to do is we start to associate everything that is happening with something being negative, and that in itself, you guys, is an assumption. So what you'll start to do is, when you have already set the intention for your life to change in a way that you have decided that you no longer want to be who you are now, or you no longer want to have that experience, you are choosing a new experience. So you have to give it time for your 3D reality to catch up. And when things start to shift in our life where it seems like those things feel like they're negative, and for example, you may notice it when you say, for me, for instance, I say that I want to move into my dream house, then that makes me feel like I don't truly resonate with where I am right now. Although I'm comfortable, it makes me realize that my vibration is already on a different vibration. But for me, I can't quite compute why I don't feel comfortable or completely comfortable in where I am currently. It's because I'm already mentally living somewhere else and existing somewhere else in another timeline where that's playing out. But my reality can trick me and make me feel like there's no movement when I see everything still being the same, or seeing this timeline play out and feel like, well, why am I still here? It's not that. It's wherever you dwell mentally, you guys. Same thing when it comes to you saying that you want to increase in pay, or you want a new job, or you want to start your own business. You start to feel like that mundane everyday life that you were doing, driving to work in traffic and only having this amount of hours to work and not being satisfied with that pay anymore, that irritability that you feel is feedback. And you could take it as positive feedback, but we always assume the worst. We always assume the negative, because we could take that data and say that, okay, this is showing me that I am growing, that I am expanding into a new version of myself where it supports me having that job that I want, having that payment raise that I want, me living and existing in my new reality where I'm living in my dream house. So I started to think of it as, instead of already assuming that it's negative or assuming that something is falling apart, I now assume it to be part of the experience on the journey, on the bridge of incidents. And so there's one thing I think that we particularly do that makes this very, very tough. And I know it's going to sound so simple when you hear it, but it is what it is. The one massive fix with this is you have to stop assuming, you guys, stop assuming that there is a problem to fix, that there is actually a problem. For example, when you have a lot of bills, or you've already expanded yourself and set the intention and you already said, I wanted to make more money, I want to be a millionaire now. Okay, spirit always says yes, the universe always says yes, imagination always says yes, and it computes, and it's like, okay, we're going to take you on that path of least resistance. And so understand, for you to go from, like, maybe let's say 30K a year or whatever it is, like whatever you're making now, to get to become a millionaire, do you know how much of that polarity needs to take place, where you have to hold on through mentally, you have to hold on through dwelling in the space where you already are a millionaire and already practicing being that person. You have to stay in that as you still are living in that 3D reality where things may be showing up. So this is why the 3D usually tricks us, because we always assume that there is a problem, or we have to try to fix a problem. And when you feel like you have a money problem, or any problem for that matter, and when you try to fix it, when you try to put massive effort into it and not inspired action into it, then you're coming from a place of never having, because to desire a state is to have it. So to be a millionaire is already to be it. So you have to feel that feeling. You have to just accept and know that you are that before your 3D reality catches up. It's just we're so in tune to the 3D reality that we always think that we ourselves have to fix something that is already playing out, when it's already, everything is already perfect, everything is already what it is, everything is already unfolding out. That timeline that worked for you before, it was fine where it was going. It's just you have mentally shifted to another conscious level where you're like, okay, like clearly that doesn't work for me anymore. And instead of trying to fix the problem, you'll always have that problem to fix. If you're always trying to figure out how you're going to do this, figure out how you're going to come up with the money, figure out how to try to get this raise or whatever it is, if you get involved in whatever is going on, then you get involved in the 3D and you keep trying to change that 3D that has a timeline that is playing out, instead of keeping on and only focusing on what you want. You're always going to keep getting a money problem, a problem where you're always trying to get your raise but you never quite get it, or you get something so close to it but never that. You guys, please understand this. There are no problems to fix. There are no problems to fix. When I decided recently that I was like, the only thing that's standing in my way of me accepting everything and how I feel I am, and that life is like completely easy for me, and that I am in my ideal now, not trying to get there, is me realizing that there was nothing to fix. There was nothing about me to fix. There was nothing about any problems that I had to fix. I just had to get on the pole and pay attention to the pole that I want to pay attention to, and remain neutral throughout the process. You guys, it's just so hard sometimes because we make it hard and we make it feel like it has to be such a struggle, because we have an emotional attachment to struggle. A lot of us have a shame when we feel like it's such a natural thing for us to have struggle, and when we don't have struggle, and when it seems to be easy, or we feel like things are too good to be true, we create that struggle and we keep self-sabotaging and keeping ourselves in a mental state, and then we wonder why it takes us years to manifest one thing or to live in our reality. It takes years for it to show up, because we keep going back and we keep associating things with it being harder, associating it with having to be that way. All things are made perfect, you guys. It's really about making a choice, you guys, a choice to assume whatever you want or to assume whoever you are. It's really that simple. Manifestation is really actually that simple, you guys. And it's really you shifting yourself into a I am and staying there, shifting into that state and staying there, no matter what vehicle you use to get there. Now, I want to point out two quotes, one a scripture and one for Neville Goddard, that really just, I reread these recently as I was having these thoughts, and it really just solidified everything that I'm doing. And it just seems like so easy now that things are just flowing to me as soon as I accepted that there was no problem to fix. Go watch my video that I did recently, my last video. You will understand what I mean by that. But I want to pay attention to Matthew 6:24, and it says, no one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. So you cannot contradict your manifestation, you guys. You cannot contradict what you want. You keep contradicting what you want, you're not going to get what you want. You're never going to be able to get what you want. It's going to be a continuous journey of you trying to get instead of just being. If you love your imagination, you dwell where you want to dwell within your imagination, within God, within that I am, that I am, that I am, that whatever you say I am is who you say you are, you guys. And even when it comes to money, I feel like money there, because I've seen another translation that says mammon, which means material. So, or your material world, the 3D world. Are you going to dwell in your imagination, you guys, or are you going to be fixated on what's happening in your 3D reality, whether it's money, whether it's a person, whether it's whatever it is you want, no matter how big or small? Can you dwell in your imagination, and can you remain neutral as you are getting into flow to where you want to go? Okay. And so the next one is from Neville Goddard, and it's one of my favorites, but this is the one that really kind of trumps everything that he's ever said to me. And so it is the dare to assume that you have your desire. You may feel you do not have the wisdom to find the means to get it, but you do. If it takes 1,000 or 10,000 people to play their parts to bring you into the embodiment of what you have assumed you are, they will play their parts, knowingly and unknowingly or unknowingly. You don't have to be concerned as to who is going to aid you. Simply dare to assume you are what you want to be, and you will compel everyone to play their part to bring about your assumption. That is life. I can't really, I don't know, it just seems when you're doing it in real time, you guys, when you're really working through it and using and understanding this material in real time, it really creates an internal shift in you that allows you to stay the course on whatever path you have chosen. No matter if negativity seems to show up, you just remember how to get into flow, you guys. So it's really about your assumption, you assuming that you have a problem where there is none. There is no problems to be solved. You actually don't have to lift a finger. You just choose the assumption. You choose who you will serve. You choose what imagination, where you're going to dwell in, what God, what I am you are going to serve and be that. And then you dare to assume it, and then everybody and everything will play its part. It doesn't matter what needs to get moved around. It will happen, you guys. It will happen. And I'm telling you that because I've literally been like, every day, like more and more my manifestations are coming in, you guys. I just want you guys to know that there are no problems to solve here. You don't even really need to do anything but stay in the identity that you want to be in and dwell there, you guys. All right. So you guys, if you want to work one-on-one with me, get down in the description box. All the information is there, my channel, my TikToks, all of that. And you guys, remember, imagination is on your side, and I am too. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.